Hello, Tracker family. For those who don't know me, my name is River Brown. I'm Tom's third and youngest son, and I've grown up around camp for my entire life. It brings my heart much sorrow to inform you all that Tom has passed 2 days ago from his health conditions. Being in heart failure and having COPD, he struggled a bit. He's been struggling, for the past couple of years. I think it being 10 years ago, he had fallen and broken his back. There's a side of it where it just kind of seemed to always go after him. Whether it was breaking his back or losing 100 pounds from COVID, or just having a recent fall and breaking his shoulder. There's always something constant with Tom. But even through his pain, he exuded such passion, such love for the earth, for his family, for you guys, students, helpers, volunteers. Even in this philosophy class that we had to start off the year, we were doing whatever we could to make sure that he was comfortable, he was healthy in all senses of the word. He was getting up to stage with a walker and an oxygen tank and pushing himself, making sure that he was able to teach for you guys. And philosophy is, a grandiose class. We also had Malcolm there too, but he made sure that he was there. We made sure that we took care of him, but once he was on stage, he was on fire. He had such a resonance about him that it just was able to pull you in, no matter how much he was in pain, how bad it hurt. He always turned that fire on. He always allowed his passion to envelop, to fully encase even just the class, just more of it, and his passion was so far reaching, and you could see that even through his struggles. He was in and out of hospitals these past 8 or 9 weeks, and his learning and yearning to teach never stopped. Granted, I was there almost every day, mostly to annoy him, of course, but it never stopped with him. Even being in a hospital bed or rehab facilities to gain more muscle growth back, no matter what, he was always learning. We at a point, his skin was so thin from blood thinners, a light touch, a scrape will cause him to bleed. And we took those blood stains, we took those scrapes and marks, and we tracked them. We watched how they aged just in this hospital room. We were watching the dust and grit particles from where the housekeeping did or did not wipe, why they didn't wipe these areas. Are they using their right, their left hand? Everything was a teaching moment for him. I think it was 4 weeks ago, he had gotten COVID again. And when you're at the hospital with COVID, when you're visiting somebody, you need to wear a mask, a gown, and gloves. So my idea was to make cordage out of the hospital gowns and, the plastic cloth. Terrible things to splice, but, we needed something, you need an outlet. We were so confined in that one room, but there was even such beauty in making that cordage out of this synthetic cloth plastic material. And our idea was, he was on the 4th floor, we made 100 feet of it. Maybe we could rappel him down and get the A-team in there and get him on back into camp. And no matter what, he was always trying to find ways to get back into camp, to teach more. We were thinking about it. Okay, you can drive in, we'll bring the oxygen tank, and we'll have all the students gather around the Jeep, the truck, so I can speak from there where I wouldn't have to move. And just to be able to feel that passion from him sitting in a hospital bed, him lying there, it meant a lot. And that's why I'm here today. That's why I will be here. But every little minute detail for my dad was so beautiful. He fully allowed himself to be in the moment. Whether it's a grain of sand, the shine from a blueberry bush, whether it's the wetness on the pine trees, it's anything to him. He gets so encapsulated with everything around him. And I know that everyone will have a different thing they gleaned from him or the Tracker School. And personally, of course, there's a couple things that the greatest lessons that I've learned is the sacred question. There's always more. There's always something deeper. The questions don't stop. And of course, Tom, my dad, could answer a lot of the questions a lot quicker than I could. He had a little bit more experience than I did, but the questions never stopped. You never got to the end of those questions. There's that great mystery out there. There's things we know and there's things that we don't, but we push to understand more, to have more of an understanding of, about the people around us even, the earth, everything integral that makes us who we are. And getting up and asking those questions, allowing myself, if I was in that hospital bed, would I still be asking these questions? Not even worried about my health, worried about, what more we could learn in this finite amount of time. It's one of the greatest teachings that I've ever experienced. And another thing from him, no matter, how serious we can get and how crazy the world is, Tom always had a sense of humor. It's something very integral part of my being. He always could find something humorous about to lift spirits, to allow that community to be built and connected through laughter, through happiness, because there's terrible things going on, but there's also such a beauty and resonance with everything. And he was always able to be serious when he needed it, but always able to bring the humor in and bring that community back together, because that's what we need, is all of us. As I said, his learning, his teaching never stopped. His care for his students, you guys, was so palpable. I could, feel it in the last coming days. He worried so much about the class. His last words to me were, "Are the students doing good? Are the students doing good?" And I didn't know it was going to be his last words to me, but that hit very hard in my heart. He was so passionate and so dedicated. At the just very end point of his life, he was thinking about you guys. And just to have a shred of that passion, that love, that caring, is all I can hope for. He was truly a man of his word, and he cared for each and every one of you. We, as Tracker, will be planning a memorial service I know this is probably the first time everyone's learning of this, and there is a lot of people that need to grieve and mourn. And he touched so many lives that we want to be able to give everyone that opportunity. So we are planning a memorial service around the time, probably springtime next year. With that being said, my dad would never want anyone to be sad from his passing. It's, another step in his journey. We don't believe that this is the end point. He has touched so many lives and made such a difference that it's a celebration of life. Tell your stories, tell your jokes, tell your experiences to other people, bring that community. And just be a part of it, be in that moment. And I know it's sad, have your time to grieve, but he didn't want anyone to be sad. There's joy, there's teachings. As per his wishes, the past couple years, he wanted the tracker school to continue, to keep having that outlet for people, to keep teaching and having the ability to reach out to as many people as we can. Always make mention in the last lecture of the standard class, Grandfather and the Fisherman. You come here for a survival school. We teach you the traps, we teach you the bow drill, we teach you different types of shelter building, how to purify water. You learned about survival, but of course we had a little bit of an ulterior motive. We're making warriors for the earth. We, in my opinion, just as Tracker School, it's not someone that we will reach. It's not someone that we will teach. It's everyone else being able to just have one person come back to the earth. Be that warrior. And it's the community that's going to allow the changes. It's not us. It's what Tom has built around this. Allowing you guys to go out, to teach, to glean that information, to learn from it, to never stop. But the Tracker School will continue. And that being said, the tracker community around us, starting from the interns, the volunteers, the kind of the skeletal system that keeps us together. I want to thank you all and putting in your time and effort and showing us your love and everything that you could possibly do. The crew around us, instructors that come visit, Dave behind the camera, Matt and Carmen coming up from St. Croix, Bill Marple, Jerry Monday, Jorge, so many integral parts, and allowing their passion, their vision, and always, if they have the time, coming back and teaching and pushing this knowledge on. Tom was a great man and a phenomenal teacher, and he's touched so many lives. And he's allowed other people to grow their passions and run their own schools. And always help come back, teach. It's been such an integral lifeblood part of Tracker. Even the past couple years, my dad has been, on and off. We wanted to give him the opportunity to come in when he could. When he couldn't, we handled it. We always made sure that he was in the most comfortable state. New to some of us, Matt has been doing it for a very long time. as well, but trying to take as much stress off him as possible. And he wanted the school to be passed on through us, through the teachings, through everything. So that will be the future of Tracker. This is so sudden for all of us, and we still have a lot to plan, a lot to do. We still have 2 classes coming up, of course, the Keepers and the Apprentice. And whether he's with us or not, I don't believe he would have the capacity to be able to make it in. So we have the class all prepared, all set, all ready, exactly how we wanted to run. And those will go on as is. But future updates, future things, whether it be online classes, in-person classes, we still will be teaching. There is quite a bit to figure out, and all the fun logistical stuff that all of us here love to talk about. But the classes go on, and we will push his vision and push everything that he stood for. I don't know where I would be without Tracker, In his passing, Tom wanted joy, passion, love. Tell your stories. Send your love. Talk to the community. We have such a growing and big and rooted community. You have so many teachers, so many people to learn from. There's so much to glean from everybody's life experiences. Us as instructors, it gets to a point in classes where there's so much teaching that your group does rather than us. We just facilitate group learning. You're learning so much from everyone around you. There's a point for us that there's really not much more to do other than give you the space to be able to learn more, to push, to have fun. My dad was a phenomenal human being. He was passionate, he was crazy, he was funny, and he meant a lot to a lot of people. I just know he was so proud and loved each and every one of you. He truly lived Tracker. He always, for the past 8 years, was talking about, I'll be retiring soon, and you guys will figure it all out, but I'll still come back for cameos. And I was like, Dad, you're always gonna be here. You can take your retirement at any time, but his push, his strive to be here, to always be connected. It's where he grew up. It's what he learned. This was his life. Practice the skill. Do a meditation. Be with nature. Do something to honor. He wanted a joyous occasion, a celebration of life. He was a great man. And he has taught a lot of people over the years. So, live like he would. Ask yourself in the morning, are you going to be grandfather, or are you going to be the fisherman? Are you going to be able to ask those questions, look at the earth in a beautiful light, and push your skills, push your knowledge to reconnect? And mourn how you need to mourn, but just know he wanted you to be joyous. He wanted you to be happy. He wanted a celebration of life. Sending love to you all. Shuna.